Welcome to our executive interview series at the FedScoop Federal Forum, sponsored by Workday. I'm Wyatt Cash with Scoop News Group, and we're here with Matthew Cornelius, Managing Director for Federal Industry at Workday. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be here. Thanks, Wyatt.
First, I'd like to ask, how would you rate the HR management systems at most federal agencies today that are needed to manage and support the workforce skills that agencies need and that workers expect?
Yeah, great question. So as someone that was actually a federal employee for many years across many different agencies, I experienced all these systems in very different ways. And if I was doing a FEV score for how good federal HR systems are right now, it'd be very low. It's very difficult when you have to sign into one system to request leave, another system to check your leave balance, another system to make sure you got paid correctly, another system to see if you had sick leave, if your benefits were allocated correctly to your wife or to your kids. It's very frustrating. And I saw my data get lost when I moved in between agencies, when I moved across agencies, or when I just took new jobs and got promotions. And so I felt the pain that all the folks that are here today feel. And I think that's why they're so energized to have Workday here. I mean, when you look at the problems, one, it's a lot of legacy systems that a lot of people don't understand. Two, the user experience is poor. Case in point, my examples that I started off the answer with. And then three, we don't make the systems able to serve folks where they need to be, right? On their phone, right? Being able to call somebody and get an answer immediately. Go into a chat bot and getting your question answered rather than doing tons and tons and tons of searches on your own time. People are busy. And we know that no matter what's going to happen with the workforce in this administration, the people that are around, they need to focus less and less time on administrative manual processes that they do in the HR space so that they can focus more on executing their mission and delivering value for the American people. So when you look across this landscape and you see the folks that are here, you see the customers that we talk to, the thirst is there for change, and you've seen it with this administration and this Congress that change is important. And there's no better foundation to lay for the agencies we have now and the agencies that we're going to have in the future and the workforces that will be there than getting all of these back office systems correct so that folks can free up their valuable time and work to deliver mission for the American people.
All those examples really illustrate the challenge. Next, I'd like to ask, what key steps can agencies take to leverage modern HR management systems to not only run more efficiently, but build a more agile and skilled federal workforce?
Absolutely. The first answer is data. The biggest problem with all these systems and having so many systems, right? The number of systems is the foundational problem, not just how old they are. When you have that many systems and you have different data keyed in different ways that's supposed to be talking to each other, it's almost impossible to get a unified view of who your employees are, what they're being paid, what their performance looks like, what their sort of learning journeys look like. You don't have a vision of what your workforce is today, so there's no way to actually come up with a plan and a strategy for what your workforce needs to be a year from now or 5 years from now or 10 years from now. So getting all of that data into one place, making it clean, making it usable so that HR leaders can use it for recruiting purposes or learning and talent purposes so that managers can look at their employees and see, are they performing well, or can we provide them more resources so they can be more effective? Or if you're a cabinet official or you're someone in the White House where you're taking this cross-government view of what the future of the federal government looks like, if you don't have the data, you can't make any reasonable decisions. So I think that is the foundational step. And then once you get beyond that, you've got to have ease of use for a lot of these systems so that folks are not spending tons and tons of time running manual reports, emailing spreadsheets, and it's the bane of everyone's existence in government, right? Everything runs on a spreadsheet and it's constantly shared amongst people. So authoritative sources of data, ease of use when you have that data so that you can get the reporting and the analytics you need to make smarter decisions, and then to have those tools so that they're able to communicate back to the employees. At the end of the day, HR should be about supporting the employee experience so that those employees can support the taxpayer experience. And so when you see those challenges, the challenges are very easily known. And actually the answers aren't that hard. It just takes a little focus, a little time. It takes senior executive attention because these solutions, you can't snap your finger, right? It does take some time, but if you do it the right way, you set that right foundation with the data, and then you bring the employees in and make them part of the experience versus forcing new change upon them. It makes it much easier. You move much faster. You get better results, and you lower cost and increase efficiency in the outrun.
Some great points as well. Well, Matthew, Cornelius, really appreciate your stopping by here, sharing your insights with us, and kind of adding to the conversation here at the FedScoop Federal Forum.
Thanks, Wyatt.